We welcome you to R-Rated Radio, the undefeated podcast show about real, raw MMA. Tonight, we talk about the best of the best. The 2016 Winners Fist LLLMMA. Long live local mixed martial arts. Tonight's episode, we recap last year's winners and who will take home the hardware this year. Tonight's special guests, Jacob, Equal, and Kyle. Now, broadcasting live high atop the city that knows no boundaries. Here's the host of the show, the captain, El Capitan, Eli, and Kyle. Take it away, guys. Here we go.
Thank you, Johnny, for that outstanding intro.
How's it going?
Well,
You're very well, gentlemen. It is my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, me and Johnny were in the first show where I first met Johnny. Was the first show where I first introduced the idea of long live local MMA. It was at that KOP. Do you remember, Johnny?
I do. I tell you what, I think I was like the second sharpest dressed guy there. You got this European look, so you are a perfect host and a perfect representation of such a great awards show. And I'll tell you what, it put a lot of buzz out there. I mean, when you came there, I believe it was Grant or Nalego, one of the two, and everybody's like, who's that guy? And we kind of had to fill him in. But, yeah, it was a great thing. And then even after that, you kind of took everything by storm, Eli. You really did. And everybody's looking forward to see who's going to either regain these titles or who's going to be the new title holder. So it's going to be kind of neat.
Yeah, that's the thing to me that I felt the best about was how much it was appreciated by all of the people that work so hard in this sport, but yet have that rarely receive any recognition. And I think that was the main point when I brought Winner's Fist out. It was to recognize the people that normally don't get any recognition, and also open new venues for other people. So just your whole view of the whole show from the get-go, was it not? I mean, do you agree with me when I say it was just a positive thing starting off, Johnny?
I would agree 100%, Eli. And the thing is, it's funny you say that. I've been announcing for 10 years now. 10 years. And I'll tell you what, that's a lot longer than most people fight. I've been announcing for 10 years, and this is the very first time with your, your Long Live Local MMA that I was actually even considered being in my category the best announcer in Michigan. And that's, just to put that out there is just, I'm saying from my medium as an announcer, and I'm sure I can speak on behalf of the best promoter, the best cage girls, the matchmakers, the whole 9 yards, the venues. I mean, it's something that it's like, wow, everything just stops, and it's like just to be mentioned as the best of the best in a certain or specific category. I have never gotten that opportunity, and I'm sure a lot of others have not either. And like I said, I've been in the announcing for boxing or MMA for 10 years, and you're the first, so I applaud you. It's a great job.
Well, thank you. So, I mean, very much. You have no idea how much when you and people like everybody that won and even people that were runner-ups that were still appreciative of it. That makes my job worthwhile. It lets me know that it was a good idea, and despite right now I started saying this started with a positive vibe, and I wanted to go into the contrast we had. We had a lot of opposition, I'd say, and it was it was expected. It was expected, and unfortunately, not everybody could take home the trophy. But the slogan for the Winner's Fist has always been "Keep calm. We are all winners." And it's very true, because even in life, even though we don't get that award that we all crave, and we work. I mean, we all work just as hard. I mean, it's just different criteria that might push our image further, or whatever. And that's kind of what I want to bring out with this show. I want people to step their game up outside of fighting. I want them to get into and be interested in being managed well. And I know a lot of fighters, have great records and may have many belts, but a lot of them could use help with their image or whatnot to take it to the next level. And I was hoping with this show that would come out. And like I said, there's winners and there's losers. And unfortunately, sometimes we may not have the most positive feedback or that we would want, but I mean, that's just kind of to be expected when you have a show with a bunch of people that are so competitive in this sport of MMA.
Well, and that's it right there. You hit the nail right on the head right there. I mean, anytime you have competition, and you are going for the best of the best, you are going for the hardware. You are going for the undisputed hardware in that specific category. You know what? I don't care, what one might say and this and that, but you know what? It feels good. I mean, it really does. It feels good, one, just to be recognized, but if you take home the hardware, then, there's no other feeling like it. And like I said, we applaud you as far as all of the MMA community for hosting this, because it's a great deal. It really is. And I'll tell you what, it was the buzz. It was the buzz. I've seen people sharing it on their page, and I got my family looking at and it's funny. But just to be in a certain class, like I'm sure you'll agree, in each category, just to be mentioned, it's like, wow, this is actually working out. Like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years, and it amazes me where you go down to, whether it be Three Rivers, or you go over to Detroit or Lansing or up north or over by Muskegon, and you see all of these cool fighters. And Eli, you can understand this all too well. You've met a lot of people throughout your years of training and fighting, and you know what? We've got a lot of good people out there. You've got a couple, but for a majority, everybody's respectful. And you know what? It's about time that we get some sort of recognition. And again, we applaud you for that. So great job on your part, and we hope you continue. We really do. We hope you continue.
Yeah, well, the Winners is not going anywhere. If anything, we're expanding, and we're getting every single year. I will continue this, and every single year I will continue to get better. I deserve it. You deserve it. The fans deserve it. Just like to recap on what you said right now. There's judges I remember sitting next to, and when I went to the shows, gathering information or whatnot, they would tell me, they're like, man, I've been doing this, 10, 15 years, and nobody even knows my name. I'm one of the best judges around or whatnot, but nobody even knows me, and I've been, and I thought that was just like, it's sad, we should have more respect, and we should know everybody in the sport, so
well, it says a lot about you too, wanting to do this. It says a lot about your character, wanting to do this for others. Okay, and one of my another thing that I do is I actually speak to kids that are, I don't want to call them troubled, but maybe they're a little misunderstood, if you will. I do a lot of speaking to these kids in high schools or summer schools that, I want these kids to understand that your past doesn't define your future. And one of the things one of my partners in crime is Esteban Rodriguez, the Mohawk.
Right.
He's a really good friend of mine. He's what I call, he can sit there and explain things because it's no secret. He'll tell you he was incarcerated, and he learned his lesson. He's trying to keep these kids from making the mistakes that he did. And him and I together, I had a pretty rough upbringing also. I mean, I could tell you stories, and nobody would believe it. But basically, I shouldn't be here. I should be either dead or I should be incarcerated. So we have a story to tell. So we basically have been speaking to schools. And one of the things, one of my proud moments on my resumes or when I speak to these kids is I was 2014 Michigan Announcer of the Year. Now, for me personally, that says a lot.
Yeah.
To these kids, it goes above and beyond. It tells them, listen, there is hope. I can do this. And I'm not just saying me personally, but listen to these stories and stuff. But you know what? When do you call your, whether it be announcing career, your fighting career, your cage drill, when do you call it quits? I'll tell you what, just like you, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to try to get every year I can. And meanwhile, on that road to getting the 2016 and the 2017 and 2000, my goal is to put the message out there. Just to put the message out there, man, that every day is the best day ever. And with people like you, that we can actually have something added to our life's resume, because that would have never came about if I wouldn't have been at that show, or if you wouldn't have generated such an award. And it truly is very humbling. So again, thank you, Eli.
No, I appreciate you appreciating it. I'm moving on. I'm going through my phone here, trying to set this up. I had a phone call just now. Let me see if I can't get it back on the line. Give me 1 second.
And again, folks out there, you're listening to the 2016 kickoff show. Winners for LLLMMA. Long live local mixed martial arts. We have special guest Jacob Eagles. Here we go. Here we go.
So, just from what you gather from Johnny's just reaction to the show, I mean, what do you think about the whole his perception or how it impacted him or just people in the sport?
I definitely like it. It's a good thing that you have judges and stuff on there, because it's not an easy job, man.
It's not.
It's not. And I'll tell you what, good judges deserve to be recognized, because the bad ones can make a fighter's life hell. The bad ones can ruin an entire card. Right,
and you know what? That's that's Jacob calling now. Jacob, you on the line?
How you doing, boss?
Hey, we're just here. I had a little tricky with the phone. It's the first time I'm doing this, so I'm thankful for everybody to bear with me here for a second. But we were just talking about good judges and what the why is it so important to have good judges on the panel. But what I was going to say right now as you were calling was that is actually the reason that this whole idea came to be, through bad judging, bad promotions, people not or cutting too many corners in their promotion. There was so many promotions that I've been to that that people just like I said, cut corners. They weren't as professional as they should have been, which cheated the sport as a whole. And just what I mean by that is when you have first time fans coming to a show and they've never seen an MMA show before, and then they view these type of things that are unorganized, they kind of get a bad perception of the whole sport. If it's the first time that they visit one of these shows and they get just a bad vibe, and they see things that shouldn't be going on, even from a naive or a newcomer, a novice. It says a lot. It says a lot about the sport. So, when we have good judges and we influence and promote good ethics in the game, that's when we get the best results, because then we have the crowds actually respecting the sport instead of just criticizing it. Jacob, do you have anything to say about judging?
I couldn't agree any more with that statement than you already said. I, for one, believe that all the judges should have at least a rudimentary idea of MMA, and they should have an experience and background in the mixed martial arts, because a lot of the times when people are watching fights, just because you're watching a fight and you think that somebody is winning doesn't always necessarily mean that somebody's winning. There's many different aspects to the game. People are always working to advance and change their positions. And it's embarrassing when you have somebody who's never even been in a fight, never done any combat arts in their entire life, and they're gonna put somebody under scrutiny who they've made their whole life, and they've trained their whole life, and everything adds up to that moment of getting in that cage and having a decision taken away from you because the ref has no idea what's going on is humiliating.
Right. And I mean, you got some good jiu-jitsu background. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
A lot of jiu-jitsu is based off of advancing your position, and that's at least how I like to view it. So a lot of the times, there will be times where you have to put yourself in a situation that maybe the ref might not see or understand, but you have to go for it if you want to advance yourself and you want to be an aggressive fighter. There's a lot of jiu-jitsu fighters who are very content with just sitting there and letting you work and trying to advance your position. But myself, I'm trying to hit submission after submission, and I'm trying to advance my position to wherever I am. I've had fights where I've been on the bottom, but I've still won the round. I've even lost a fight before because I was in a triangle choke, but I didn't get out. Just because somebody's on top doesn't mean they're necessarily winning the fight. And the fight can end at any moment, at any time, with the correct pressure being applied.
Right. So, just tell me, as you remember last year's show, even if it's vaguely, what were the best categories that you enjoyed watching? I mean, or viewing on Facebook. Just out of everybody, out of the categories, which one do you think was the most exciting?
I'm always really excited for the up-and-comers. The up-and-comers in the sport are what make the sport great, because for me, in MMA, when we're watching this, there's always that dude who's been training his whole life, and he's waiting to get in that cage, and he dreams about stepping in that cage from the day he was born.
Right.
And for me, it's always exciting because that guy who's an up-and-comer, he could be winning the knockout of the night, he could be winning submission of the night, he could be winning fight of the night. But since he has that mindset of a champion, he's going to be going for all those categories.
Right. I myself I like the ring girls, just not to take anything away from the judges and the staff and the fighters. I'm just saying it, to me, there was just a lot of excitement around the ring girl category. I definitely think that everybody was interested in this category. And I remember going through a little bit of drama, when we were going through the votes and all of that. But definitely all the ladies that were part of the show are they're welcome for being on, and I give them all. I would give them all an award, if I could. Luckily I'm not the one that chooses the awards, But yeah, I mean,
in my mind, they're all winners.
Exactly, we're all winners. Yeah, do you have anything else to add about last year's show, or anything about that you would like to see in this year's?
I guess my main thing is I'm really happy to see that the amateurs are getting attention, because to me, depending on how the promotion is being run, and I haven't obviously fought at all the promotions you have, a lot of these fighters, in my personal opinion, don't get the most out of the sport that they should be getting. We have shady promoters doing all kinds of sorts of silly tricks in the background. I think everybody has a story about how they had a fight that really wasn't the fight that they thought they were walking into.
Right.
And for me, it's very important that the amateurs, at the very least, if they're not getting paid, that they're getting attention, that they're getting exposure, they're getting their name. Somebody watches this and they hear about how they like hearing about one of their fighters, then they're going to look that fighter up. And every fan that you get, every message that you get, all that motivation you get being a fighter helps push you forward, because it ain't always easy when you're training every single day and you're getting put through the works and getting put through the gauntlet every single day. There's not always is there a light at the end of the tunnel for you. So getting that exposure and getting your name out there and getting fans is everything to amateur.
Right. I definitely agree with that. As you were saying that, I remember last year, our winner, the best fighter of the year, was Dylan Carpenter, and there was like a misunderstanding that surfaced when he was leading in that category. He was thought to be a made-up character. He was more from the northern. I think in the northern, or I think he trained out in Detroit as well. He was known in those areas, but as far as southern and West Michigan, nobody had heard of him. He won the award because of his following. He has an amazing following. But I just thought it was kind of funny that for the other part of the state, he was kind of unknown to where his identity was even questioned. But that just goes to show how much more his fan base expanded, or his following. Because I know afterwards, the whole entire state knew his name, and those are just those are just kind of perks, and not only perks, but they're credentials that like Johnny was saying earlier. You could take that with you. You could use that. We have, for example, we have EMTs and the best medical teams in our award show. And just think for a second. These are people that do other events, not just MMA events, and to have something on the wall that you could say, hey, I was the best of the year, of the whole state of Michigan. I was the best, whatever category. That is definitely a big credential that a lot of people could appreciate.
Especially looking from the outside in, if you're a fan and not just a fighter, you don't realize that MMA, those shows as a whole are a machine, and if one of the cogs breaks, then you're not going to be able to advance. For example, you just mentioned the EMTs. And the states that I fought at, you're not allowed to fight unless there's EMTs at the venue.
Right.
I was the second fight of the night for my first fight, and on the first fight, somebody broke something in their neck or some sort. At least that was to my perception of what was happening. And then the EMTs came, and they took them out. The show didn't start again for another 2 hours because we were waiting for EMTs to come.
Yeah.
And they're just taking their time. And not only is that bad for that, but I'm waiting there like this is my first fight. I'm extremely anxious, and I'm just sitting there like, well, what am I gonna fight? What am I gonna fight? How many times can a man hear 15 minutes?
Right. That's not what you want to hear as a fighter.
Yep. So you want to be warm and
definitely not what you want to see is them have to call EMTs and them not be on site. I've been at plenty of fights where somebody breaks an arm or a leg, and Denaway had tapped out, where he dislocated his knee, and there was nobody around. They had to call an ambulance, and then they had to sedate the guy in the ring, and that's not what you want to see, especially when you're the next one getting in.
Right, and also, I'll say again, for the fans, the people paying to see this, they want to see professionalism. They want to see gore, blood. They want to see, just fists, banging. They want to see all that, but at the same time, they want to see it from a well-ran promotion. I'm sure nobody enjoys a janky show. And you know what? I don't want to make this about bad promotions. But I just want to bring out how important it is to recognize the good ones and the good people that are actually doing their homework, their job, their everything that is to do. They're not cutting corners. And this is what the show is all about. For the people that did not cut corners, that paid the extra dollar, that state the extra minute in that gym, that all of that. This is to pay for hard work. So yeah, but thank you so much for calling us, Jacob. I'll be glad to have you in the future shows here as we go along. And I know it's kind of like late where you're at right now. What time is it right now?
It's about to be 4:50. Well, it's 4:54 right now. It's about to be 5 in the morning.
Wow. Yeah, it's quite a time change there. Well, we appreciate you staying up and being part of the show today.
Thanks for calling in.
Sounds good. You guys have a good night.
You too.
All right, Jake. Yeah, like we were just saying, man. It's just it's good. It's good that people that never thought they would get some shine for their hard work.
Absolutely, and those are the people that you want to stick around too.
Exactly.
The people that are doing a good job, especially with your judging and your promoters and your ring announcers, and people that everybody takes for granted, that that you would like to see around for a long time because they do a good job.
Right. I mean, and just here in local MMA here in Michiana, what are some older promotions that you remember coming up? Some of the first promotions here.
And just in the area, or in Indiana, or Michigan?
Well, both here in Michiana, just around the area, regional.
9.5 series was one that was coming up. I mean, Tapped Out was around. Let's see, MFL, all the big ones that are still around.
Scott Johnson.
Scott Johnson
was one of the first pioneers here in local MMA. I don't know if a lot of people know that. And as far as his promotions, they've always been top notch. Here we go, D from Detroit calling in. Is that you, D? You on?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, brother?
Chilling, man, chilling.
Well, I'm just here with me and Kyle, just going over the show, kind of recapping from last year, and just kind of what we would like to see this year. What just from your perspective, give us a little bit of your insight and your feedback from how it was from your perspective. Last year's, that is.
Okay. In what area would you like me to?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just wherever you feel comfortable. As a matter of fact, whatever you remember the most. Let me ask you this: what was the best category or the category that excited people the most, in your opinion?
I wouldn't say. People get excited sometimes from a negative
right
things as well. I would say the most energized and electrifying category, I would put it like that, will probably been I believe it was properly labeled Fighter of the Year. I believe that's what the name of the category was.
Yeah.
Fighter of the Year, and I believe probably promote the best promoter or best venue or somewhere to that standpoint.
Yeah.
I think those two got the most attention and was the most electrifying of them all.
I agree. What about the ring girl category?
Well, you know what? These ring girls is too, from what I've seen, maybe, promotions out there, I haven't been to all the promotions. What I've seen, you really can't find a consistent one. That one week they're ring girls, next week, they switch to prostitution, next week they're in a dope house. It depends. Half these ring girls down here in the Detroit area come from the strip club anyway. So,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
One.
Every promotion I've been to, the further north you get, the more frequent they are to pull them from the strip club. It's funny that you say that.
Well, then you get the after party come with that, right? Well, usually.
Yeah, I've been to shows where they hand out free lap dance cards. For the after party. Yeah,
there you go. Well, no, I mean I agree with you. Those two categories were they keep everybody on their toes. Everybody was kind of waiting to see the results in those. I think the promotion was a lot of it's political. It got kind of political with it. Whereas do you remember last year when Dylan Carpenter was unknown to certain people in Michigan? A lot of people questioned whether he was even a real fighter. Do you remember that, D?
I remember that controversy. Yeah, I remember.
You want to elaborate it out without even bringing people up or none? Just kind of it.
I can't say that the people who were against it and upset with it, I can't say that they were wrong or wasn't justified by the objection, because they made a lot of valid points. And I agree with them. Only difference between me and them is they went ahead and just was like, hey, I'm going to call them on it. I didn't call them on it. I just went ahead and said, oh, okay, well, it is what it is. But a lot of people, logically looked at it as though, yes, this had to be based upon a popularity contest. When you make posts and you tag all your friends in it, and your friends, half the people you tagged in, they ain't never seen you fight, and they haven't seen the other fighters who are competing against you for the award. They haven't seen them fight, so they're not in the position to be able to judge all of the fighters against one another to see who's number one. So then you can basically logically say that was derived out of popularity contest, which is what it was at that point in time. Because to be frank about it, 90% of the list were more well deserved.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It is a popularity contest, but when we look at athletes as a whole, I mean, in the big leagues, is that not the same game we are in? Like, that's kind of like, what I want to bring out with this. I want to bring out put emphasis on managers. There's a lot of the managing a fighter takes a lot of hard work. It's a very it's a profession to be respected and acknowledged. A lot of people don't understand how much work it takes to be a manager and what good managing could actually do. So, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this, is because a lot of this goes beyond the gym. It goes beyond getting the good jits, the good stand-up. It goes as far as, your image. And if you have somebody on your squad that could improve your image and it can make it more, you could attract more fans that way, I think that's the key. And so, yes, it is a popularity contest in a way, because like you said it right, you hit the nail on the head right there with a lot of people that vote don't actually know everybody or can make a educated analysis about everybody, and that's true. But this is fun. It is meant to be fun. It is meant for like I said, I just got done saying, outside of just training hard and getting athletically better, you also got to work on your image. And that also gives way to the managers and everybody else that helps the fighters in that aspect. What were you going to say, D?
Well, you're absolutely right. You have to have a competent manager, which is what 90%, probably more than that, of the guys out there don't have, which is a competent manager. Majority of their managers are just people who probably was in the sport and they old and broke down and ain't got nothing else that they can do, so they want to stay relevant in the sport. So they say, hey, well, I'm gonna call myself a manager. And based upon perception, you look and say, oh, this person's been around for a while. They know the promoters. They know this and that. And you say, okay, well, they got some connections. Get me a fight, and you make them your manager. But at the same time, you didn't question this guy's marketing IQ. How is he at marketing? How is he at growing your fan base?
Right.
Developing relationships with the media and with journalists to get you interviews, get you in the press, to get you out there, landing you sponsors. Outside of combat opportunities, you never question that. You just look at the fact that he fought for a long time and he took pictures with a couple promoters, so you think he's got some good connections. So you feel, like a dummy. You put your career in the guillotine. At that particular point in time.
That's exactly what it is. Go ahead.
So that's a problem. That's a problem that needs to be, addressed, publicly, and like you said, it's see what's happening. There's a lot of perception. It's the game of perception, and that's all around the sport. And with the game of perception, people aren't who they say they are. And when you see someone who comes on the scene who is the real deal, and people start to differentiate and guide towards their way, they become haters. Even with you, when you did your awards, next thing you know, other people start popping and saying, oh, no, I'm going to do the awards, or I'm going to change, or try to figure out a way to take over your project. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they say, "Oh, well, I know more people, so my award is going to be better." It becomes another popularity contest.
Right.
It's controversy. Based upon perception.
It is, bro. I mean, you have no idea. And I mean, last year there was moments. I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of heavy to me.
Right.
Just the whole fact that I'm not making no money off this. I'm not making there's nothing to gain from this. This is something that I saw as a way to help, as a way to recognize, like we just got done saying, a lot of people put in a lot of hard work in this game, and people don't even know their name. They don't even know their first or last. I mean, that's just sad. That's kind of why I want to do this, and like what you were saying with the manager's point. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that at this time, not only here but many places in the U.S. and anywhere else where there's MMA, I think that marketers or managers are, instead of marketing, they're like demarketing. And what I mean, excuse me,
right.
I'm over here having some of this Guinness, man. I've never had this Guinness Blonde. Thank you for the beer, bro. This is
no problem.
Awesome. It's kind of heavy, but yeah, it's kind of like at a point to where I see a lot of coaches and managers, whoever takes the care of that aspect of the fighter, the manager part, I see them holding the fighters back. Like, no, don't go train over there, or don't get sharp over there, because then we won't take the credit for it. Or don't do that. They make a lot of moves that aren't so promote. They're not for the fighter's sake. They're not directly to the fighter's benefit. And I think
right.
all of that needs to stop, man, for the fighter's sake. Not to say that I'm better or anything like that, but in the past, when I've reached levels that even I couldn't handle, like I'll just give examples. The way we train, in my gym, it's like, man, you come, you progress, and the minute I see you progressing above our level, bro, you gone. I'm gonna find a better gym for you ASAP. Because
happy to go.
Yeah, because it's not about me taking credit or being being by your side, bro. This is not football or basketball. This is not a team sport. This is individual, and when it's your time, it's your time. You gotta capitalize on it, and having a good manager and all of this will help you, and it should help you. It shouldn't demarket it you like I said right now. Like, it shouldn't take from you. Having somebody behind your back should always open up doors for you, not close them.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, that's just kind of to follow up with what you were saying. But yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. We went over categories. What would you like to see this year that you didn't see last year?
I think we need to go to managers. I don't know if you had managers, best manager or best,
I didn't because I didn't
managers.
Yeah, and I do. I want to have that as a category. I just to be honest, man, I couldn't think of too many managers that we had.
Right.
That were around, but yeah, I'm just throwing it out there just to let you and everybody that's listening know that the Winner's Fist is completely open to your ideas and your suggestions. Our ears are open, man. So whether it's I plan to do a show every week until New Year's, until the actual celebrate the whole show. So every
I
week.
think we need to have best cage or ring entrance too.
Oh,
to have
that's a good one.
You know, a lot of guys come out because it goes back to what you said. It goes back to capturing the audience's attention, marketing yourself very well.
Exactly.
And I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's like individualism. I get tongue tied. Individualism. Did I say it? Got
Right.
it. I got it. Yeah, because everybody should be different, man. You should always, be different for the better, not just to be different, but be different, just a little bit better than next. I mean, that's what creates sharper competition, But just to kind of go with that, every week I want to have a show, and every show I'm gonna have a winner. Okay. So from now on, starting this Friday, I want to have a show, and I want to have a fighter of the week. So, and the criteria and everything else that's going to be discussed tomorrow in the Winners Fist forum that I got, not forum, page. I have a Winners Fist page, LLLMMA Winners Fist page. So we're going to be discussing the criteria there. But basically, I want to give everybody $100 a week, man. You know what I'm saying? Whoever gets the fighter of the week, and you could take that for training or for anything that could benefit. I know it's not a lot, but I mean, Christmas is coming up, and whatever way I can help you out, I will. So every Friday here till New Year's, we're gonna have a fighter of the week, and just to kind of get things started for the show. Do you think the fighters will appreciate that? Or, as a matter of fact, I was hoping to have some of the the clothing lines in Michigan, help me out with that. Do you think they'll be interested in sponsoring with some gear or anything?
Oh, yeah. You got a lot of companies out there that's willing to sponsor sporting endeavor, especially in MMA. The thing is that you have to have, and it goes back to competence, you have to have a competent leader of whatever organization it is that's trying to get sponsored. Me, myself, who not only is active in the sport, but I also do a lot of sponsoring, and coming from that standpoint in the fact that I do have a degree in marketing, I will tell you this. A sponsor's more legitimate high-end are concerned with rather the company who is trying to get them to sponsor them have enough competence and intellect to market their sponsors in a way that is effective versus just giving them just one non-creative, plain, dry shout-out here and there, a way of incorporating them into the show from start to finish to keep their name, in front of the people and make people. It goes back to marketing. You have to have somebody in your organization that is able to effectively market your sponsors so that they can see a result. They can see some substance as a result of their sponsorship, and they'll continuously do business with you. But yes, there are people out there that will sponsor in our organization. They will sponsor, such as my organization, Detroit MMA TV.
Ah, man, well, I asked the right man. I'm gonna be talking to you in one of these Fridays. Hopefully, you could sponsor one of our winners here coming up shortly.
Yes, sir.
Most
Yes, sir.
Most def. Well, I mean, do you have anything else to add?
Just before I go, I would like to nominate somewhere up in there. I'm pretty sure he'll win a lot of categories if it's not a popularity contest. It's my little brother Brian Scott. He is statistically Michigan's number 145 and 135 according to the numbers. He has a 82% winning rate. He's 28-6. He's also undefeated boxer. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a very, very good grappler, very humble guy, and he's beaten a lot of black belts. Brian Scott. So I definitely would like to nominate him in a lot of those categories, especially one of the fighters of the week. He's very legit, and this is not from an emotional standpoint. I speak according to logic and on a factual basis.
Well, there you have it, folks. You heard it here first. Um, is he from the Detroit area?
Well, he cross trained. He trains down here a lot, because he's under our organization. He's originally born in the Bay City area, and now he stays in Lansing. So between Lansing and Detroit, he'll be up here. In fact, this weekend we'll be doing some photo shoots and things for the release of my magazine, the Detroit MMA TV and Boxing magazine, set to come out in January. Yeah, we big on marketing, man. We very big on marketing. We're not growing in numbers. We're dying.
Where can people pick that up at? Or is it all online?
Pick that up right now. There are 4 locations in the city of Detroit. We're working on. That's why we're waiting until January, because this December we're actually in negotiation with other distribution centers in 4 different states. So we'll have that information tied down in the next 2 weeks on where you can pick that up.
Hey, my guy, between you and I, man, you should really look into. You might already probably be on that, but online magazine. It definitely come back on cost, and it'd be very, very efficient. But yeah, I mean that's just something that I was thinking about doing something like that, like an online thing. I'm just saying, bouncing ideas off you, bro.
Mm-hmm. Online is good when you're able to steer traffic to your website via social media and like online ads and stuff stuff of that nature. But the thing is that online. How are you able to direct people who are in the doctor's office, in the dentist's office locations, or at the local tire shop, sitting in the waiting room reading magazines while they're waiting on their tires? And you're not able to direct them. But we will have our social media sites and websites in the magazine, so the magazine will actually lead them back to the website. But we still need that. We need that to get that publication out there.
Okay. All right, and just out of all the promotions in Michigan, man, who do you give it up, or who would you nominate?
I would nominate Donofrio MMA, Joseph Donofrio, a very good guy, one of the first promoters in terms of MMA here in the city, and he's been doing boxing. I'm 28 years old. He's been doing boxing probably since I was a little bitty boy. So he's been in promotions games. He used a lot of reputable venues. He used the bigger venues, the same venues that NFL teams and NBA teams and hockey teams play out of. He used their same venues. He has had, even before regulation made it mandated, he used fighter insurance. He had 2 sets of EMTs on sites. He has doctors and nurses, everything on staff. He treats the fighters good. He cut down. He very rarely do video weigh-ins. Everybody comes ahead of time. They're actually housed in nice 5-star hotels. And also, he is not a partnership. He doesn't have a partnership with any gym. And I want everybody to listen to this. The most reputable promoter that you can have is somebody who is not a coach or a manager or have any ties to any specific gym where a hidden agenda can be pushed. He is not a gym owner. He does not train people. He does not coach people. He is strictly a promoter. He wears one hat. There are no hidden agendas. He's not for or against anybody. And that's important. And that's why I would say I had to give it to Donofrio.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I was very impressed when I went to the Joe Louis Arena.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, man. It's I mean, that's what you call, a well put together show, and I definitely agree with you. He's got a lot of success because of the way he carries himself in the show. A lot of he could be an example for many promotions. In the state and in any other state, but at the same time, WXC has great shows. I want to give a shout out to Pete. He's always been very professional with his promotion. TWC has always been well respected. My man Ronda Leone, you know, I've been to his promotion, had fighters fight for him in the past, always treated us respectfully and carried his promotion on a very high note. So yeah, we have a lot of guys.
Joe Battaglia.
Yeah, TXC.
He does a good job.
Yeah, I went to his show with my boy Jarrell and Bobby.
Okay.
Had where was that? Can't even remember the city that. I think it was right off Detroit, Navi or something like that. Novi. There we go. But yeah. All these promoters, man. You can't help. Well, I can't help but to notice. You know, it's a struggle. You know, it's a lot of heavy stress that these promoters go through. You know, the day of the promotion, the whole week of. There's so many things that this promotion and the show entails that they have to, they have to take care of. So this is to have everything, fall in place and come together all at the same time in one day for one show. It's a miracle. I think for a lot of people. I think at the end they look back at him like, man, wow, how did I get this done? There's just so much that goes into it. That's why everybody that is part of the show is gonna be recognized in this show, man. Everybody from the security, the crowd control, to the staff, to the ringside staff, to the staff back in the locker rooms. A lot of people, like I know Sheena and me and other people that be out there wrapping hands and just holding it down for the fighters. Man, that goes unnoticed unless we have a show like this, man. So I think it's very important, not only for the fans that are watching, man, but for the staff and the fighters. But with that being said, brother, man, thanks for being on the show, and thanks for your support last year, this year, and for the years to come.
Thank you for having me, and you're doing a good job, and you keep doing what you're doing. And just know haters are definitely going to come, but we're going to keep giving them substance. We don't want them to die. We got to keep giving them something to eat off of.
Yeah, I heard that. Much respect, brother. Much respect.
All right, sir.
All right, thanks for calling in, boss.
No problem.
Yeah, Kyle. So going back to last year, man. There was just, it's just a lot of people. It just shows that I don't take it, the negative things that came from it. I don't take them as negative. It just goes to show how much interest and passion people have for what they're doing.
There's definitely buzz about it already.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. I've been waiting a whole year. Ever since the last Winter's Fist, I just been on my toes waiting for this year's. So this is definitely something that I'm happy to do. I'm happy to present. I'm happy to have the support for the entire state to go with this, man, and just kind of let the people that work hard be recognized, man. Just let them get their shine. Like I said, a lot of people don't even know people's names, and they've been doing this for 10, 20 years. Depending no matter what kind of what part of the ring site they're from, and but they definitely need to be recognized.
Yeah, it's always good to be recognized, whether you're a judge or a promoter or whoever. You let the people who are doing good know that they're doing good, and give the people who aren't doing so good something to strive forward the next year.
Yeah, most def. It definitely, if anything, it could serve as something that sets the tone. It sets the bar up higher. For like last year, Dylan Carpenter, best fighter of the year out of the state of Michigan for 2014. 15, 14. This is 15. Sorry,
right.
We got it.
So let me ask you this: how are you doing the voting?
That will be done by the people, and that will be talked about next week, actually. And let me take this call from Johnny O, calling right now. Johnny, you are here live with us.
Oh, great! I'm glad to be back. How's that?
Well, yeah, we just had some callers call in and give their feedback and their perspective of the show, and I mean, I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to put this together for the state, and I hope everybody enjoys it. I'm just ready to get this going.
I'll tell you what, we're really excited, and we're excited also. We cannot stress enough how much what you do means to the MMA community, and you're just a gentle, humble human being, and thank you for being you.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, we will be tuning in this Friday, same time. We're going to be having every Friday till New Year's comes. We're going to be having a Fighter of the Week presented, which I will give $100 cash just for either Christmas money or for the fighter to use and whatever that he may need for his training or whatnot. And I'm also asking for any potential sponsors that could maybe for clothing sponsors that could sponsor these Fighter of the Weeks with some gear. So yeah, that's something that we're gonna work on our end to bring for the fighters here in the coming weeks before the show. But that's just kind of throwing it out there and letting you know. Yeah, I have everything. I think everything that we're going to discuss today has been discussed, and I'm just ready to put this on online so everybody can view.
Well, we can't wait, folks, and I guess this is my cue. So on behalf of Eli and Kyle, we want to thank you for tuning in here at R-Rated Radio, where we tell you how it is. No sugarcoating here. Join us next time. Same host, different topic, and you, the greatest fans, remember, what happens in this cage stays in this cage. Until next time, Johnny O signing off. Folks, we love you. Here we go. Here we go.